Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel Code for Tech Solutions. Today in this video we are going to cover a new topic and we are going to see how we can build a RESTful API with Python and Mariadb. So these are some prerequisites, like we need to install Python, and this is the official Python website from where we can download the Python, or else I have created this video which will help you to install the Python on Windows operating system. Next, like we need to install Django framework using this pip command. Next, like we need to install MySQL client, which is a Python library which will help us to connect with the MariaDB database. And next, like we need to install this Django REST framework. This is the web framework with which we are going to create and build the REST API on the Python backend side. And this is the Heady SQL, which is a database management tool that will allow us to connect and manage the databases on the MariaDB side. So this is about all the prerequisites we are going to use to create this Python MariaDB RESTful API. Please do not forget to like, subscribe and share. This is our channel Code for Tech Solutions. Now let us jump into our coding part. So this is our project folder. Now we can open the command prompt, and from here we can open the VS Code editor with this command. Now we can open the new terminal from here. And first thing we can use, we can create our virtual environment using this command, and we can name our virtual environment .venv. You can see this folder is created with all the default folders like include, lib and scripts. So all the libraries will go inside this lib folder. Once it is virtual environment is created, we need to activate that. So for that reason we need to go this virtual environment folder. Inside that we have scripts, and here we can use this activate command. Now we can see virtual environment prompt is appearing, that means it is activated. Now next thing, we need to install all the dependencies or libraries which we are going to use to create this Python application. Okay, so first we need Django, next we need Django REST framework, and we are going to use MySQL client. These many libraries or dependencies we need to install. You can check the lib folder, it will add all these libraries. Now once it is installed, we can check all these those libraries using the piplist command. So we can check using this piplist command. So these are all the libraries which are installed. We can see Django REST framework, and this is the MySQL client. Now next thing what we can do, so we can create our Python Django project. So for that what we can do, we can use Django admin, and this is the command start project, and we can give our project name. Let's say it's a member app, so member project. This command will create a member project with all the default files and folders including manage.py. Now next thing what we can do, we can go to this project folder, and we need to create an application. For that we can use the command python manage.py, and we can use start app, and here we can give our application name, which is the API. So you can see this is the application we have created inside our project folder, which is a member underscore project. So inside this application API we are going to keep all our REST APIs which we are going to create. Now next thing what we can do, so let us go to our settings.py wherein we need to configure our database related settings. So first thing we need to do, like we need to add inside installed app, so we are going to use a REST framework library, so we need to add that, and after that we need to add our application which is API. Next thing, like this is the default database section, and by default our Python application is using SQLite 3 database. So here we need to add appropriate engine. In our case it's a MySQL, and so this engine for MySQL database as well as for MariaDB it is using MySQL engine. Okay, now next thing, like we need to create a database. So let us create a database. So let me open the Hedy SQL tool. So this is the database management tool. So let us create one database on the backend side. Now this is the session, we can open it. You need to enter username and password for that, and here we can create one database. Like we can create, so these are some existing databases. We can right click on this one session, and here we have this create database option. Let us create one database like person db, and we can see this database is created successfully. Now next thing what we can do, like so we can mention the database name it here, like this is the person db. Next thing we need to mention the user, you can mention your username. Next we need to mention the password. Next we need to mention host, which is a local host. Next we need to mention port name, and for the port we can check the port. We can cross check the properties, connection property, and here is a port 3308. Now the same port we can mention, it's a 3308. Seems good, we have configured our MariaDB database successfully. Now we can, now let us create our model object next. So for that we can go into the API folder, and here is our model. So here we can create one model class. Well, we can use model name as a person, and here we can use models dot model, and here we can define what all attributes or properties we are going to use. Like here we can use char field, and we can use max length, let us say 100. Next thing we are going to use email, which is like models dot email field, and we can say unique as a true. Next thing we are going to use age, which is models dot integer field. That's it. So these are all properties we are going to use. Now we have just created the database on the database side. So if we do not mention the table name, so this backend application will create a table for us. Now if you want to specify a name for the table, what we can do, like we need to mention inside meta, like what table name we want to use, like we can mention, and here we can use, like let us say person table inside person db. So this is the table we want our application to create for us. Now finally we can create one string interpretation with this one, and here we can return a self dot name. That's it. With this we have successfully created our model. Next thing, we need to create a serializer for our application. So let us create one file with name serializers.python, and here we can use, like, we are going to use REST framework, and we are going to import serializers. Next, this is the import. Next, like, we are going to use we are going to import the model, which is a person in our case. And next we can create our serializer class with name like person serializer, and here we can use serializers dot model serializer, and here we can use like class meta, and inside that we can mention what is the model, and our model is a person. Next, what all fields we want to use as a part of serialization. So for that we can use like all fields, or you can mention a specific field which you want to serialize. So this is about serializer. We are done with. Now we can save it. Next thing, we need to create a view. Like, for creating a view we have various options using the Django REST framework in Python. Like, we can go for function based, class based view, mixing, or custom API view. So we are choosing the model view set option for creating a view. So let us create. So our view file is already there. So this is the view file. Now let us create a view from, this is the REST framework, and we need to import like view sets. Next, like we need to import our models. And what is our model? It's a person. Next, we are going to import our serializers, which is person serializer. Now next thing, we can create our view set class, and this is a person related, so we can create a view set class with name person view set. Inside that we can add view set dot, it's a model view set, and after that we can use query set. For that we can use our person object or model. On that we can call objects, and we can call all functions. Next thing, we can use serializer class, which is person serializer. That's it. We can save it. Now here we can see we have created a model view set option view with the help of model view set. And the best thing of using the model view set, it's a recommended and best approach to create a view with the Django REST framework. And there is one more thing, like with this model view set, like we can create actions automatically for create, read, update, and delete APIs. So that, and that's why there is no much boilerplate code we need to add. Now we have saved this. Next thing, like, we need to configure the URLs. Okay, so before we configure the URL, let us migrate our application. So we can use command like python manage.py, and we can use make migrations. This command will prepare a migration file to create a database schema on the backend side. Now we can see this migration folder. Now to complete the migration, we need to execute one more command, like, which is a migrate, python manage.py migrate. So with this command, it will create a table, all the required tables on the backend side. So let us check on the backend side. So this is our person DB. Now let us refresh it. Okay, we can see it has created all the tables including this person table. Okay, fine. And if we check for this person table, here we can execute this. Yes, we can see it is showing no data as such. Okay, so next thing what we can do, we need to configure the URLs for this. Like first we can create our application URLs. For that we can use this create this URLs file. And next what we can do, like here we can create from Django, and we can import the URLs, and here we can import path and include. Next thing here from REST framework dot routers, we can import default router. And next we are going to import our view, which is like person view set. That's it. Now we need to create our router, which is a default router. Next thing, we need to register our view set with the router, and we can register it using like it's a person's endpoint, and after that we can use our view set, which is a person view set. And finally we can add URL patterns, and here we can mention the path. Inside that we can mention it's a API and slash, and we can mention we need to add include, and here we can use our router dot URLs. That's it. So this is about configuring the URLs for our application. We are done with. Now what we have done, like we are using the default router. We have created this default router, and with this default router we have registered our view set, and this is the endpoint for that. And we have like added our router URLs included into the path for this API slash path. Now next thing, similar way we need to configure the project. We need to include our application URL inside the project URL. For that reason we need to add one more entry inside path, and this is the blank, and here we need to include our API URLs, application URLs. Here we need to add our this include import. That's it, we are done with. Yes, we can see it is showing all the columns like name, email, and age. Seems good. Now let us check, let us run our application. We can use Python manage.py, and this is the command with which we can run this. Before that, make sure you have saved all these things, like what files you have modified or created. You need to save it first. Okay, fine. Now let us run our server. Now our application has started. This is the development server, and you can see this is the URL for our application. We can click on this, and here we can use the path. Like we need to prepare a path, we are using API URLs. So let us go to our URLs here, and our path should start with API slash person is the endpoint. So let us use that. This is the API slash persons is the endpoint. Okay, seems good. Now this is the Django REST framework user interface, you can see, and this is the person list, and it is showing the empty list because we do not have any data as of now. Now let us create one record, like let's say it's a Ratan, and we can add email for Ratan. Next we can add some age, like let's say 45, and we can click on post. Now we can see one record is successfully created. Similar way we can create one more record, like let's say it's a Peter. Here is a Peter, and we can add age 50. Okay, similar way we can add one more record, like let's say it's a Smita, and here we can add Smita Gmail, and here we can say it's a 47, like 42 age. Seems good. Now let us see, we have three records. We have successfully inserted three records. Now if you want to get any record, we just need to add the ID, and accordingly it will fetch the record for that ID. Now next thing what we can do, you can see after it once it is fetching the record with this Django REST framework, we can see and these controls like name, email and age will get populated with this record. Now if you want to modify this record, like let's say here we can add Vijaya, and here we can modify it with Vijaya's Gmail, and let's say here is a 44 age. Now we can see the record is successfully modified. Now if you want to cross check into the database, let us refresh it and check. Now we can see. Now let us, it will show the table. Now we can execute this query. Yes, we can see it is showing three records, which is as expected. Now let us retrieve the third record or whatever record we want, and we can delete it. This is the delete option. Once we click on delete button, the record will get deleted. Now if you go back to the person list, it is showing the two records because the third record we have just deleted. Now let us cross check into the database once by executing this query. Now it is showing two records, which is as expected. With this we are done with all our CRUD operations with Python using MariaDB database using the Django REST framework. I hope you must have enjoyed this video. I will request you to please do not forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you so much for watching this.